Boutique Podcast is a show for mature audiences only. Listen at your own peril. Landing now at the Piece of Junk Studios in Lexington, Kentucky, a cornucopia of nerd culture with news and reviews from the genres of comics, science fiction, horror, gaming, and even a little cosplay. It's the Geeks Boutique Podcast. And now, here's your hosts, JD, Zach, and Jason!
Well met, lords and ladies, and welcome to another bonus episode of the Geeks Boutique Podcast. In this show, Sir Gregory the Destroyer and St. Jason the Bald travel to a bygone age as presented by the Kentucky Highland Renaissance Fair. Join us as we explore the 13th century and get steampunked by the Corsair Iniquitous.
Boy, folks, do we have a great episode for you, and I'm personally extremely excited about this one, being a huge steampunk fan myself. But before we get into the meat of the show, let us get you into the steampunk mindset with a little bit of the musical stylings of comedian and songwriter Mikey Mason with his song, Steampunk Enough.
She had strapped above her ears. He went out and bought a Nerf gun and slapped on a couple gears. He walked up to tell her hi. She looked away and said goodbye. He's not steampunk enough for her. He bought a gothic vampire costume online. Belts in random places, glowing contacts for his eyes. She walked right past him to her friends, not even looking at him twice. He's not steampunk enough for her. He's not steampunk enough for her. She's got discerning taste and no time for amateurs, and no dilettante shepherd or half-hearted poser work. Could be steampunk enough for her. Went home and did some research on Etsy.com. Cut a pair of leather bracers from a purse he stole from mom. Got vintage clothing from estate sales and he wore it with aplomb. Still not steampunk enough for her. He's not steampunk enough for her.
Okay, so what we have in store for you today is to present to you a series of interviews that Zach and I performed throughout the Renaissance Fair. First up is going to be Mr. David Cecil and his lovely wife, Mickey. I don't know about you, Zach, but I saw David really pretty much as soon as we got through the gates. We could see his awesome steampunk cosplay from across the way.
Oh yeah, and it'll be talked about more in the interview, but that was one of the things about it. It was very very flashy over there, being able to see that plate and the hydraulics and everything from across the way. Mm-hmm. I think to me one of the most interesting parts of the entire thing with his was the fact that a lot of his stuff was made out of just everyday appliances. Heck, his hat with its little steam whistle kind of thing on the side of it was actually made out of cardboard.
Yeah.
But he did such a good job with it from a distance, you would have no idea. I mean, it looked like actual hat material.
Yeah, so we just had to pull that guy aside and see what the story was behind his costume and how he got it all thrown together. So first up, Mr. David Cecil.
Hi, this is Zach with the Geeks Boutique Podcast. We're out here at the Steampunk Day at Highlands Ren Fair. Speaking with Dave, we're talking to some of the people with some really great costumes. Dave, care to tell us a little about your cosplay today?
Well, today I'm assuming the role of Lord Augustus. I've injured my arm in the lab, so I've had to create a mechanical device to help me lift it. However, as I'm kind of a failed inventor, it doesn't quite form properly, so it only goes up and down. I can't reach behind me, for example. And the missus is a little upset because she can only hug me on the right side now.
So Dave, tell us about some of the materials you use there. You seem to have some really great plate. For those playing along at home, he's got a little plate on the shoulder and some plate around the wrist, and all looks really great come together. So what were some of the materials you used to come up with the idea?
Well, about 90% of it is just scrap that was laying around the garage, which is the best for steampunk. But as you've identified, there is a regular plate that I hammered out with a hammer. Most of it is cardboard and foam.
That's
with
cardboard.
yeah, with a few little trinkety type items and a cheap chain around it.
Okay if I,
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And then the pulley turns, so when I'm walking, it looks like it's doing the work. And then the rest are just kind of belts and buckles that I've found here and there. And the hat we made last night out of foam. And
Last night?
yeah, last night. It's all just craft foam.
Nice.
But the attempt is to make it look like it's welded and riveted and patched and this and that.
Pretty good.
Well, everything you've got there looks really great. I'm really loving the entire thing. I would have never guessed that it was made out of foam, and especially the armor piece looking out of cardboard. That's definitely some inventive stuff there.
Yeah, it's all about creativity. It's just, you take what you have and you make the best you can out of it. And then somewhere along the line, it becomes real fun. So that's the ultimate goal.
All of it just looks absolutely wonderful. I mean, I love the vest. What was the weapon and the holster you've got there?
This is actually a water gun, and I've been considering putting some ice water in it to kind of cool off.
Now, you could go with ice water, but apparently rumor has it that you can fill these things up with alcohol to kind of make it for a much more interesting steampunk day.
Well, of course, on air it would be ice water, but who knows what's in the squirt gun.
Wonderful. Thank you again, Dave. Certainly appreciate your time, sir. Like I said, listen for us. We'll have the interview on the podcast.
Great.
Thank you, sir.
So the next interview that we've got for you guys is some of my favorite musicians, especially that frequent the Ren Fair scene. And these guys do a great job of some body drinking songs and the...
You say that again.
the piratical style. Now for your listening pleasure, followed up with an interview with the guys themselves. This is Take It From Me by Drunken Sailor.
Well, you're almost a man now, son, let's have a chat. Put up your feet, take off your hat. You see all these ladies, they'll try to entice. But listen to me, boy, I've got some advice. Girls, they can catch you with their eyes and their smile, and their soft, pretty hair will distract for a while. Then they'll try to change you to what they want you to be. Your safest bet is to sail out to sea. Son, take it from me. Spend your life on the sea, and happy you'll be. Son, A girl will ask you to leave when she wants you to stay. A girl can be laughing and cry anyway. Girls, they will lie when they got nothing to hide. That's why men weigh anchor and sail with the tide. Son, take it from me, spend your life on the sea, and happy you'll be. Son, take it from me, spend your life on the sea, and happy you'll be. Some girls are nice, some won't even look at you till you pay their price. Some girls you might even love just a bit, but leave them behind, boys, they're crazy as shit. Son, take it from me, spend your life on the sea, and happy you'll be. Spend your life on the sea, and happy you'll be. When you've been out to sea for 6 months or more, thinking about all those pretty girls waiting on shore, it's a long half a year with naught but your hand. That's why men heave to and sail back into land. Son, take it from me, spend your life on the sea, and happy you'll be. Son, take it from me, spend your life on the sea, and happy you'll be.
So that was Drunken Sailor, a musical duo that performed here in the Central Kentucky region and at Ren Fairs all over the United States, to be honest. They're famous for their sea shanties, their pirate sing-alongs, and also their bawdy tavern favorites. Favorite of mine, personally. Enjoy those. Don't take the kiddos, though, if you go see them.
Well, they do some, like, PG-13-ish kind of things.
At the Ren Fair, it depends on which pub they're singing at. So
yeah,
if you're going to the Twisted Thistle up in Kentucky, be prepared for no holds barred entertainment,
which is the best kind.
Yeah, but if you're in the main hall, Michaela's in, then they're doing something that's open for everybody. So definitely bring the kids to that. They really know how to work the crowd. It's a lot of fun. They never disappoint.
And the stage theatrics alone, they do a lot of audience participation. It's really fun to kind of get your friends up there and have them be part of the show and everything else.
Yeah, they're up on the tables. They're getting the audience involved. It's a great time.
If the thing of it is, though, if you're not singing and don't look like you're having fun, they will force you to have fun.
Yeah, it's like that teacher in school that you couldn't hide from. You didn't do your homework and they just know it somehow.
I made the mistake of checking my phone actually during one of their shows at Animaticon. And Captain Amos actually did the last half of the show sitting in my lap.
Nice.
Yeah, that's we talk about a great booty on a captain.
Did you show him your peg leg?
Which one?
Your third one. So stay tuned for our interview with Captain Amos Moorhead and his buddy Philip McGinnis.
Hi, this is Zach and Jason. We're out at the Steampunk Day at Highlands Renaissance Fair. We're actually out here with Drunk and Sailor, getting a little interview with the guys. Guys, so how did you come up with the idea for Drunk and Sailor? What was the initial inspiration?
We were drunk and sailing.
It was awesome. We looked at each other and we're like, man, this would be more fun if somebody knew how to sing.
So we learned how to sing.
And play guitar.
And
drink more.
And the rest is history.
Excellent history.
So I've heard that it started out as a little bit of a punk gig. How did it go from being a punk group to just two guys singing beautiful pirate music?
Well, it didn't start out as a punk gig. That was like a side project.
Brief interlude.
Brief interlude.
But it rocked! And now it's over.
But now it's just the two of us singing beautiful pirate music, as you said. You should come to a show. You will be moved to tears.
At least you'll be moved to drink.
Moved to drink. Yes.
We encourage drinking and partying.
Secretions will happen, yes. You will secrete at our shows.
It's not a show without bodily fluids.
So the big question I think for everybody at home is, how did you get two palled up to go ahead and start this? Like, how did y'all meet to start Drunken Sailor?
So we are standing in the middle of the genesis, if you will. We were working on cast here at the Kentucky Highland Renaissance Festival, and I was playing the pirate captain, the sailor, and he was playing the town drunk, and we sang for a couple years in the choir and stood in the back row, and he looked at me and was like, we should do a singing act. And you're the sailor and I'm the drunk. We'll call it Drunken Sailor. And then crap happened.
Man, it's all been downhill from there.
Yeah, that was pretty much the moment, and it's been great. We actually, there's a good story. We went and worked at other fairs where people didn't know us, and we were doing part of a sword comedy group.
And we got contracted with another group to go down to this other fair.
But it was not music at all. And so they had little stages like you have at the Ren Fair, and they had the schedules posted for that stage on a sign next to the stage. So it would have, 12 o'clock so-and-so, 1 o'clock so-and-so, and then it'd have 2 o'clock open when the stage was empty. So we literally started out our career stealing stages, and we jump up there when it's empty, and we introduced ourselves.
2 o'clock, and we'd be like, hello, we're open.
We're open! Thank you for being here!
Fuck your schedule. We're going to do what we want. This is Drunken Sailor in true pirate fashion. We're going to steal some open slots.
Right.
No,
so we actually pirated our first stages.
That's beautiful.
Let me ask you a question. So since your humble beginnings, I mean, I've noticed I follow you guys on Facebook. I see you're going to Michigan. You've been down to like the Gulf Coast or whatever it is, and somewhere in Florida. So what other big shows do you guys play? Fishers?
Yeah, we do the Fishers Renaissance Fair in Indiana. We do couple shows at the Gulf Coast. What else do we do?
I do like the ones up in Michigan. Those are fun. We've played Nashville. We also do split about half and half. So we do about half festivals, like daytime shows, and about half nighttime bar shows. So we do like Indianapolis, Cincinnati, Nashville, Louisville, Richmond, around there. One thing that's amazing that's going to be coming up, if you're somewhere near Cincinnati or you want to drive in, we are actually performing on the B&B riverboats. And there is an all-adult pirate cruise. It happens on Saturday, August 12th. And you can get on our Facebook, Drunken Sailor. There's an event for Pirate Cruise, and it's from like 11 at night till 2 a.m. and it's all 21 and up.
So get a hotel.
Get a hotel. And we've done this the last 2 summers, 1 trip per summer, so you only get 1 chance a year. And we sail and have full PA and do the filthy songs, and it's a ton of drunk-ass, rowdy pirates.
Now, the BB riverboats are legitimate pirate ships.
Yeah.
Like the Coast Guard has said, you guys are pirates, and they fly the Jolly Roger 24/7 and everything.
Yeah. Captain Al, was it Al? Captain Al took us up in the wheelhouse after our first show. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning telling us these stories. And apparently they like snuck on the Belle of Louisville and stole the antlers because they felt like they were robbed, and then like cast off and set sail. They even sent some winches down.
They stole one of the Derby horses, the mayor's Derby horse.
Oh, that's right. It was pirate. Yeah. And so anyway, when they wrote them up, instead of like throwing them in jail or whatever, they actually decreed that they were an outlaw ship. And there's a whole like thing from the Coast Guard declaring them a pirate vessel, so they have to fly the Jolly Roger.
And that is why we play in their ships. Yeah.
Right.
You know you're a truly great ship when the U.S. government declares you a true pirate vessel. There's nothing the Geeks Boutique is going to have to be out there to cover that. If nothing else, me.
Send our correspondent
exactly. Zach, the field correspondent. I'll dress up in pirate outfit.
But you should send someone else to hold the microphone because you're going to be too drunk.
Absolutely. I'm currently working on it right now. So, I mean, the alcohol flows freely and the winches flow freely as well.
You're like, oh, mic assistant. I'm busy holding a girl in one hand and a beer in the other, somebody else has to hold the microphone.
So what's the turnout for this pirate cruise? Is it a pretty high volume?
Well, like the last couple of years, it's been a pretty good turnout anyway, but like if Facebook is any indication, this one could be pretty crazy.
Off the hook.
There's over 800 people who have responded to the Facebook event, so
Yeah, so we're hoping it's going to be off the chain. I would say there's about 125 to 150 the last 2 years. And, on the upper deck of the riverboat, it's just packed wall-to-wall. People dress up. They're in pirates. Well, we're talking all about the riverboat show, but I got to tell the story. So the first cruise, we're 2 songs in, and a monsoon hits. And it's covered deck, but it's all open on the sides. It's the most rock and roll piratey thing we've ever done. I'm standing on a chair, screaming sea shanties into this microphone while the rain and the wind is lashing me and thunder and lightning actually hit the boat and knocked out the radar.
Hell yes.
yeah.
And we sang until the whole
was
PA
awesome.
shorted out.
It was awesome.
It was awesome.
But yeah, so you can find us here at the Kentucky Renaissance Festival until July 9th and
8th and
9th. 8th and 9th. That's the last weekend of the festival.
And that's on the weekends.
That's the weekends
Saturdays
only.
and Sundays.
And then a couple weeks after that, July 29th, we're going to be in Grand Rapids, Michigan, at a place called Tip Top Tavern Bar and Grill, something like that.
Easy for you to say.
Right. And then we have the Riverboat Show, and then
We'll be at Fishers near Indiana
Fishers
in
Rent Fair,
October.
and et cetera, et cetera. But you go out to our Facebook page, and you can see where we're going to be.
Of all our upcoming shows. We'll be down around Gulf Coast again, like the Mobile Ren Fair in November. So, yeah.
Do you have any more of the Charlie tours? I know in Lexington you guys do the Charlie tour, bar hop kind of pirate themey.
We just did an amazing trolley tour, and what month was it?
Was that April, I think.
Sometime
End
in
of
the spring,
April.
but the weather was amazing. We had a ton of people dressed
We
up as
might
pirates.
end up doing another one in like September or something. We'll see when we get there.
Don't have a date yet, but yeah, it's a great time.
I'll say. So how's the Highlands Renaissance Fair treated you guys? Has it been pretty good as far as being out here? I know you guys are out here pretty recurringly.
This is what we consider our home fair. We started here. This is the 12th year, so we've been here every day. I think the fair has been open, haven't we?
I missed one.
Did you miss
The
one?
very first year I missed one day.
Now the first couple of years.
So Captain Amos is winning.
So no, the first couple of years when we were on cast, I went to took Dad for Father's Day. I used to take him to the
I'm
car
actually
races.
winning because
So, yeah.
I've only missed one
I
day.
think, and I've missed a few, so yeah. But it's wonderful out here. Like if you've never been, you should definitely go to a Renaissance festival. If you're listening to this podcast and you've never been to a Renaissance festival, what's wrong with you?
Agreed.
This one is preferable though.
Right.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Come to this one.
So, a little insider information. Is there anything new from Drunken Sailor that we should be expecting coming up? Some hidden information that only our listeners will know that's not the general public knowledge.
Well, it's funny you should mention that. We have just announced that the date for our second Kentucky Pirate Festival will be Saturday, February 3rd in Louisville. It's an indoor festival. We get pirate acts from all over to come down and do stuff with us, vendors. It's all indoors. It's great. You should come. We also have been talking about a new CD. We don't have any specific plans yet, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen soon.
Absolutely. And we're thinking we'd like it to happen sooner than later. So maybe in the fall we'll be recording some stuff.
Yeah, in fact, why don't we go record some stuff right now?
Right now?
Right now.
We're going to go record something.
Right now. You've heard it here first, folks. Thank you guys from Drunken Sailor.
Okay, number 3 on our big list of interviews is Mr. Ed Frederick himself. Ed is the CEO and mastermind behind all the events at the Kentucky Highland Renaissance Fair. And honestly, I have to say, we're lucky to have him. We're lucky to have everything he does for us here in town. If it weren't for him, we wouldn't have a lot of these events in the central Kentucky area. We'd have to drive up to Cincinnati and beyond or down to somewhere in Tennessee. He's been running the Renaissance Fair for 12 years now. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of other great events he puts on throughout the year, different concerts and other events that appeal to us here on the Geeks Boutique podcast, like the Celtic Music Fair, the Strongman Games.
My personal favorite.
Yeah, Zach's looking to get involved. and like I mentioned before, the Dickens Festival. So give a listen to our interview with Ed Frederick.
Hi, this is Zach and Jason out with the Geeks Boutique podcast at the Highland Ren Fair. We're here with the founder, Ed Frederick, talking about just some basic overall of the Ren Fair. It's been a great day. It's a beautiful day in June at the Highland Kentucky Renaissance Fair. Ed, if you don't mind, tell us a little bit about the history. What inspired you to start out with the Highland Ren Fair? What inspired you to do all this and create this beautiful gathering that you've put together today?
Well, we started, as you know, we're in our 12th season. We moved back here. We lived in Texas, and we moved back here, which is our home in Lexington. And there wasn't one here. And we had gotten really used to going to Scarborough and TRF and those bigger ones. And, we decided that, maybe we need to try to do one here. So we put a group of investors together and started hunting ground. And we went to the University of Kentucky and said, do us a demographic study. Where do we need to put this thing? And they pointed to this area because it's centrally located between Cincinnati, Louisville, and Lexington. And then, we just decided to start one.
That's really awesome. So how did you come up with kind of the ideas for each theme? Like, I know this weekend is steampunk weekend, and I'm having a blast with it, really loving it. Everybody dressed up and all the gears and automatons. What kind of inspired the different themes?
Well, we generally let the crowd tell us. We listen to what the people have to say. Hey guys, why don't you do a pirate weekend? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do, like, this year's our first year for Viking weekend. We all watched the Viking show on TV, and everybody, everybody said, it'd be neat to do a Viking weekend. And so we just thought, well, we'll throw one in and see how it works. And it's been our biggest weekend so far.
That's really awesome. I mean, as somebody who loves the Viking stuff and, from all the Viking tattoos and everything, we came that weekend. It was a really great time. What would you say? I know you said the Viking weekend has been your biggest weekend. What would you say is historically your biggest weekend? What theme or event attracts the most people?
Well, actually, it's been steampunk up till now. Today is a good, the weather's beautiful, obviously. The crowd's down just a little bit from last weekend. Which I'm not real sure why, but up until this year, steampunk's been the biggest weekend.
That's really awesome. Jason, you have a question?
Yeah, I wanted to jump in. The overall theme for the fair every year is the reign of King Robert the Bruce of Scotland. I know as you're sitting here next to me in your kilt, so what went into choosing like that time period specifically for the overall theme of the Ren Fair every year?
Well, we didn't want to do Henry and Elizabeth. That's what everybody does. Yeah. And we had gotten into our heritage, and my wife and I are both Scottish way back when, and we traveled to Scotland pretty regular. Okay. And that, it's just what we love. So we thought, well, if we ever start one, it'll be a Scottish themed fair, which we did. And Robert the Bruce was right at the beginning of the Renaissance period. I mean, the very, very, very beginning. So we decided that that's be the way we go.
I'll say overall, I mean, I've been coming for years and just really love it out here. I mean, anybody that's not come check this out, let's listen to our podcast. As Drunken Sailor said, what are you doing with your life if you're not out here at Highlands Ren Fair? I mean, this is definitely by and large the greatest Ren Fair. I mean, as far as I know, it's maybe the only one in Kentucky. Is this the only Ren Fair that Kentucky runs? I mean, this is definitely the greatest.
Yeah, it's definitely, there's been a couple people try tent fairs here. There was one at the Kentucky Horse Park that went on for a couple of years, and there was one in Shelbyville for a couple of years. It was a tent fair at the fairgrounds, but they didn't make it, for whatever reason. We're the only permanent site fair, around here, and the closest two are Tennessee and Southern Ohio. So yeah, I mean, we're the only game in town for this stuff.
Also, I mean, you guys have definitely put together truly an amazing Ren Fair experience. I mean, some of the the standalone shops that are truly built and rough-hewn wood and everything that's in here. What do you think it is about your Ren Fair in particular that makes you stand apart from some of the other Ren Fairs and other people in the game?
Well, there's two things. One is most Ren Fairs are built in circles, so that vendors and people can park in the back of them and get to their shops and all that kind of stuff. When we got together with UK, we told them we wanted to do a layout. We told them what we wanted to do, and they wanted to help us with the layout. So we did some aerial shots of the ground, and they said, well, let's go ahead and do it like a European town would have been during that period. There's a central building, a central hub, which is the Great Hall, and everything radiates from that. So like up Main Street, down toward the King Stage, down toward the jail, they're all on arms instead of being one continuous circle where people just walk around. We think this is a lot more authentic. I mean, you can only do so much authenticity. Sure. Yeah. But we think this is a lot more authentic than a circular fair. And the second thing that makes us different is our cast. I don't know whether you've noticed how interactive we have 5 guilds here and our primary cast, and I don't know if you've noticed how interactive they are with the patrons.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's a big thing, because big fairs tend to lose that, and it can't be helped. I mean, you got 30, 40,000 people there a day, you're going to lose that contact. But that's one of the things we've worked on, is we never want to lose that. It's like a big family here, and we want to keep it that way.
And that's definitely one of the things that I've noticed every year that I've come here, is the sheer interactiveness with the cast. Is you really truly feel that you're in a medieval town. The way the layout is, you're out in kind of the middle of nowhere, for lack of a better word. The way it's got that tree line that isolates us from the surrounding city, you would never know that you weren't in a medieval fair. And I mean, it's just an absolute beautiful atmosphere that you've created here. And I've loved it every year. I've been coming, goodness, this is probably my 5th or 6th time out here, and it's just always had a great time. So what's the future of the Highlands Ren Fair looking like? Anything kind of people can only hear here, some of the insider information?
Well, we spend our usually it's Sunday mornings. Sunday mornings tend to be a little slow, so we get together and meet on Sunday mornings, all the people that are really involved in the futuristic planning of this place, and we look at what our numbers have done this year and financially what we'll be able to do in the future. But one of the things that we've got in the works for this year is a new booth, another restaurant type booth, and that's about all I can tell you about it. But it'll be another rough-hewn building. It'll be over in the woods, and it'll serve something that we've never had here before. So that's about as far as I'm going to go.
Great. So aside from the Kentucky Highland Renaissance Fair, which runs June through early July, what other events do you have going on here? I'm a big fan of the Celtic Music Fair and also the Dickens. There's 2 weeks in December that you guys do the Dickens Fair, which my wife and I absolutely love. It may be our favorite event. So tell us a little bit more about those events and why people ought to come.
Well, first of all, Dickens is my favorite event too. That's my absolute favorite time of year. Great. I'm a huge Dickens fan, and A Christmas Carol that's just me. I love that whole thing. So that is probably the least financially productive event that we do, but you know what? It gives you the warm and fuzzies for Christmas. It's a really good thing.
It's awesome, man. It's awesome. I need to go.
It's great. You love it, and the more you dress up, the better off it is. I mean, it's real interactive, and it's just a really good thing. Not to let the cat out of the bag, but we think that our original Scrooge is going to come back next year.
Oh, good.
And he is phenomenal. He's a phenomenal actor. Anyway, we do in August we do a big country music show here, and it's a new artist type show. We try to do an up and coming artist. This year we got a kid named Mo Pitney that's pure country. I mean, he's the real deal, and he's
country is cornbread.
Yeah, country. Yeah, and he is. He got his first album out. And he's got 2 hits on the radio right now, and he's just. I mean, the kid's like old time good country music. We'll put a couple of regional acts with him, and it's a big night. We put a 40-foot aluminum stage up down by the bridge, and they play up this way, so it makes a natural amphitheater. And we try to run the neighbors out of town. So we've done that. We've done some really good shows here. We did Blackberry Smoke. I don't know if you know who Blackberry Smoke is.
I've heard of the name. That sounds very
It's kind of a southern rock group, crossover country, southern rock, hair farmer, kind of the real good group.
Hair farmer.
And then we did I can't think of his name. The guy used to be the lead singer for Stained. Aaron Lewis. Aaron Lewis. We did Aaron Lewis, and it was a huge show.
I'm a fan of Aaron. How did you guys get him booked out here?
You just cough up the cash, man.
This is very true.
50% down. I hope you sell tickets. But anyway, we do that in August, and then in September we have the Celtic Fest and Highland Games, which is on the same day. And then we have a Halloween event.
Oh, really?
We have a Halloween event here. It's all about the kids. It's all free. We ask you to donate a can of food. And all the groups come out, and the local businesses come out, and they give away candy to all the kids that get to trick or treat, and it makes a nice, safe environment for them to come into. The other thing is the seniors, the graduating class from Eminence High School every year, they haunt the woods, and you can pay $1 or $2 or whatever it is and go through, and it's scary, you know, and that's how they pay for their prom every year. So that's our community service event. So we do that, and it's big fun. And then by that time, we're ready to go into Dick. We're starting production on Dickens. So,
Jason, anything else you want to ask or add? Or?
No, I would just say that thanks for everything that you do. I think we're truly blessed to have this land here and your events that you organize. Otherwise we'd have to drive to Ohio or Tennessee or Indiana or some godforsaken place like that. It's really a blessing to have the Kentucky Highland Renaissance Fair and all your events you do every year.
well, thank you. And just, next time you come, bring 10,000 of your closest friends.
I try. I grab up everybody I can. I grab all the students I can. I tell everybody I know, and now the podcast will be out there. So
well, that's good. And most people that come back. So yeah. And that's the proof's in the pudding on that deal. So
I think this is my 8th year in a row, 7th or 8th.
Oh, that's good. That's good. We appreciate you coming.
Cool. Thanks.
Guys, you've heard it here. I mean, you really, truly can't beat Highland Renaissance Fair. I mean, just listen alone, a lot of the information that even I didn't know as far as all the community stuff they do. Not only is it a great place to be, but they do a great thing for the community that they're located in. This is truly one of the best Renaissance fairs that I've ever gone to, and it's by and far the best Renaissance fair in Kentucky. And once again, if you're not at least visiting the Renaissance Fair, the Highlands Renaissance Fair for one day to see some of the amazing stuff they have to offer, what are you doing with your life? We've truly enjoyed our time with Ed Frederick here, and this is Zach closing off.
Okay, next up, Zach and I had the rare privilege of sitting down with the winners of the steampunk costume contest that took place. We have the winners for Best Dressed Lady and Best Dressed Chap. That's a little hard to say.
Best Dressed Chap and his dog.
Let's
throw that out there.
Maybe 2.5 interviews. I'm not sure.
Exactly. He had a lot of really great, insightful things to say if you speak dog.
Yeah. The winner of Best Lady was Miss Lillian Wilkins, and Best Dressed Chap was Mark Huber and Rocco.
Yeah, absolutely. Rocco was, like we mentioned in the early episode, Rocco was packing heat. I think it was kind of rigged. I think Rocco was going through the crowd threatening people with the little pistol here and there.
Yeah, I think we should next year maybe lobby for like a pet category.
Well, yeah, because I feel cheated. I mean, don't get me wrong, I probably would have lost to him anyway, but that damn dog, I mean,
yeah,
the dog
had it going on. Any dog that's packing heat,
I will always be bitter about this one.
Yeah, so give a listen to our interviews with Lillian Wilkins and Mark Huber and Rocco.
This is Zach the Destroyer and first mate Jason with the Geeks Boutique Podcast. We're out here at the Highlands Renaissance Fair. We're now talking with the winners of the Best Dressed Lady and the Best Dressed Chap from the cosplay competition, my personal area of expertise. As proper decorum, we'll go with ladies first. So who are we talking with today?
Lillian K. Wilkins.
Wonderful, Lillian. Care to tell us a little bit about your costume, about what you got put together here?
This is Rabbit from Steam Powered Giraffe. It's a band with singing musical automatons.
I'm actually a fan of Steam Powered Giraffe. I'm aware of it. So tell us a little bit. How did you get the beautiful light display in the ears? I mean, obviously being Rabbit, have rabbit ears. But tell us a little bit about the light display you've got there. I mean, the makeup's awesome too.
I just got some LEDs, like a strip of them, and just kind of stuffed them in my hat.
Awesome. So, the LEDs look great. What is the actual material for the hat? It almost looks like leather from over here.
It's a craft foam.
Really? You've made that all out of craft foam? I mean, from sitting here, I'm less than 2-3 feet away. It looks actual, like, real treated leather. I mean, so what did you do to get that effect with the craft foam?
Mostly just putting on a base of black and then painting it all over with, like, other colors, like red and stuff.
That's awesome. So what was it that inspired you guys to do a Steam Powered Giraffe cosplay? I noticed that others from your group were dressed up like other members of Steam Powered Giraffe, a great steampunk band.
I just really liked them, and I thought Bunny was so pretty.
I mean, it definitely won, obviously, today. So I see some of the other pieces of the headdress. What are the parts around your ears there?
These are little rivets I found, like, everywhere, and also these are tacks, and this is a ring from a curtain.
See, that's one of the things I love most about steampunk is that it's just salvaging everyday materials. Like, I mean, for my personal stuff, it's Goodwill finds. Like, that's the big thing. I think that's so amazing about the steampunk crowd is that you can truly create anything out of anything with this. So, like, what's some of the chest piece and everything made out of?
This is also craft foam with on the top, bottom to make glass, it's a clear acrylic.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, clear acrylic is something that I'll use in a lot of my materials. I love the kind of the weathering effect you did with the bolts. How did you accomplish that?
I just got some craft foam and got a stippling sponge and just like, whoa.
I'll say the entire outfit looks great. I've got to ask though, as someone who's done makeup themselves, you got to be cooking. What did you to do to bypass the heat with the makeup?
This is actually the makeup that Steam Powered Giraffe uses, and it's really light, and it's just water-based and alcohol-based paints.
And for our listeners at home, what is the makeup that Steam Powered Giraffe uses? I mean, do you have kind of a recommendation to achieve a similar effect?
I use Snazaroo and Mayron and some eyeliner from Revlon.
I mean, it looks awesome. Did you make the dress and everything with it? I mean, it all looks truly wonderful.
I actually bought this dress for really cheap, and it was just awesome.
I'll say the entire effect and everything. I mean, it's clearly an iconic cosplay. It looks truly wonderful. I mean, beyond a shadow of a doubt, definitely deserved to win. I'll say anything you'd like to add in about your costume, about some of the effects, anything that somebody might not know how to do at home that was kind of a pro tip, if you will, of how to make the outfit that you've made.
Store-bought things are great.
Any Goodwill dives or anything with your outfit?
I don't know.
Wonderful. Alrighty, let's and Jason, any questions for?
No, I'm speechless. I know it's different from normal, but
I'll say, I mean, it's truly wonderful. All right, now that we've had the best dressed lady, let's go over to the best dressed man and best dressed dog, who I personally competed against, and I can totally consider the dog as a cheating mechanism. Because it was not best dressed dog, it was best dressed male, but this is merely whining of the week from Zach the Destroyer, and we're going to toss it over to the best dressed male of the Highlands Renaissance Fair.
Best dressed chap.
Best dressed chap. Currently my ass is very chapped, so that would fit very appropriately for the best dressed chapped ass, which would be me.
Yes, I'm Mark Huber. Thank you very much.
So tell us a little bit about you and Rocco, the star of the show. Tell us a little bit about you and Rocco.
Rocco has been, he's my service animal, and he's there with me when I've always needed him. He's an amazing little friend. So, and he's been steampunking with me. We went last year to the Indy Con, and I met my daughter up there, and he was steampunked up there, and he drew a lot of attention at the Indy Comic-Con. We met my daughter up there, Marisha Ray, and Matt Mercer. They do, they're very big into the cosplay, and Marisha Ray and Matt Mercer are both Critical Role.
I was about to say, you mean like the Matt Mercer and Marisha Ray from Critical Role?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Marisha is my daughter, and Matt is my soon-to-be son-in-law.
Oh my gosh! Well, congratulations on that front.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
So tell us about the outfit that you guys have got put together. What's the character? What's the backstory on it? I mean, I love all the accoutrements on the hat, and obviously on his little vest with the little pistol and everything he's got there. So that dog is ready to roll.
Rocco's ready. I'm actually a cancer survivor, and kind of what I've done, my daughter Marisha said that, Dad, you are a true steampunker. So, and she just basically she did a photo shoot several years ago of steampunk, and I was just completely intrigued with it. And she said, Dad, this is how you do it. You know, she said, just start with a hat and go from there. So when I got my hat, I just picked out different things. that you can see on here. I have crystals and just different things on my hat. And I'm actually an old Grateful Deadhead. I got my Deadhead button on here. There's our Critical Role. You know, there's just things that were passionate to me with the crystals and the rusty nails and the gears, of course. So I started with the hat, and I just went from there. And I've been having a ton of fun with it. So
that's one of the things that I love so much about steampunk is you can really truly see, I don't know, what makes people happy. You know, kind of see their soul, for lack of a better word, made manifest on their body. And you know, personally being a cancer survivor myself as well, it's truly great to be able to talk to somebody who's gone through a similar experience and is a true steampunk and can see and enjoy some of these things on the day to day. And definitely, you guys look amazing. Jason, any questions on?
I was going to say, we've been joking about the dog a lot, but
yeah.
I think honestly, I was in the crowd cheering for who I wanted to cheer for, and I think it was the mask, honestly, that may have set it off. A lot of people around me were commenting on the mask, and gosh, how's he see on that, and climbing up on the stage and everything. So, can you speak a little bit about the mask and what it's made from, and why you decided to go with that?
Basically, I found this mask. I don't even know where I found it, and then I just started just highlighting it to my likes. But I was able just to find the mask at I believe it was Caulfield's. I believe it was at, so I'm like, okay, well, it's like, I like it. So, and I bought these at here last year, and I geared them up a little bit. So,
Nice.
Just like I said, just add a few things. I got like the whip. I can actually whip it and make it crack. So, but it's fun. It's enjoyable. It's a lot of fun, and it's like this young lady right here, absolutely amazing. Just so creative. Each piece you look at is a complete work of art. I mean, it's completely and totally one-offs, one of a kind, and they're works of art, and so creative. So it just, you think outside of the box and just have fun with it. That's what it's all about.
That's the absolute beauty of it. I know for me, obviously I've got my store, Brocker's Armory, so I'm Captain Brocker when I'm done up my steampunk outfit. Do you have any like backstory for your cosplay, for your character that you've put together today?
No, I just, like I said, that was pretty much it. Like I said, me and Rocco, and just Marisha turned me on to it. And, last year I was steampunking out in L.A., and we was with the whole cast of Critical Role out at a Ren Fair in L.A., and that was so much fun. I mean, people coming up. Now, Rocco, he wasn't with me at the time, but boy, we had a great time. So that's just, like I said, just a lot of fun.
That's the beautiful thing about steampunk, I feel like, is it draws everybody from the RPG element, the artists, anybody that just really likes this and kind of likes that neo-Victorian era. Yeah. I mean, guys, any closing remarks for the Steampunk Festival or for Highlands Ren Fair about your cosplay? Anything else? Jason, any questions?
No, I'm all done. I wanted to just put in a good word for service animals. I have a dog, Isaiah. He's a certified canine good citizen and a therapy animal, and he goes to Alzheimer's centers and nursing homes at least once a month to volunteer. And I'm just telling him, actually, I like dogs more than I like people.
Absolutely.
It's amazing the therapy that they do, and how he senses energy and senses high blood pressure and anxiety, and he knows exactly what to do. So it's amazing. It's amazing people. But he's a little nervous because of the shooting that was going around. He gets a little bit, but he's extremely smart. If he calms down, he knows how to do all kinds of tricks. If I could get him to do some tricks, he knows how to count. He knows how to count.
It really does take a special kind of animal to be able to do this sort of work. We had to go through about eight weeks of training, and they have to be very cool under a lot of crazy circumstances. Yes. So hats off to all these service animals.
They have to be able to, like you said, they have to fit the mode. Yes. So, and they have to be cool under fire.
Any closing remarks for the Highlands Ren Fair or anything?
I don't know.
Well, that's totally fine. Like I said, we just love the opportunity to sit here and talk with you and just enjoy the cosplay and enjoy the artistry that went into that. I mean, it's truly a beautiful piece that you've put together. I mean, I love the ears. In fact, it's made out of craft foam, and it looks like leather. And it's just truly beautiful, everything that you guys have put together.
Several hours of love and labor into that costume. Yeah, a lot of fun.
Well, guys, thank you so very much for your time today, and we appreciate being able to get a little insight into y'all's lives and world and the artistry that you've created, and we certainly appreciate the time. So thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, we also got to talk to a couple of the bigwigs in the steampunk community here in the central Kentucky, northern Kentucky area. The captains of the Corsair Iniquitous, Courtney Stoll and Brett Daly. Zach has gotten to know them personally. He goes to a lot of their events and a lot of the parties they set up, especially around the Cincinnati Steampunk Symposium.
Oh, yeah. Courtney and Brett are just absolutely phenomenal people. And as mentioned in the episode talking about the Steampunk Symposium, the Corsair Iniquitous throws probably the biggest, if not the best, party at Symposium. They also do a couple other events. They do TeslaCon, and then they do Motor City Steampunk Convention. I want to make sure I'm getting the name of that one right. And I actually had the honor of being inducted into Corsair Iniquitous. I'm not entirely certain if we got it on the interview or not, but that was a big honor. I have a great time with them, and they do some really great work.
Yeah, I would warn Courtney and Brett. I'm not sure if they quite know what they're getting into by inviting you to join. But.
Oh, they're gonna find out. I mean, it was kind of funny in the Facebook group for the members of Corsair Iniquitous. They were talking about they were digging their way to hell, and I said, well, I've brought power tools.
I can vouch for that. So give a listen to Courtney and Brett.
Hey there, this is Zach the Destroyer with the Geeks Boutique Podcast. We're out here with Courtney and Brett at the Highlands Renaissance Fair Steampunk Day. These are the amazing cats that run the International Steampunk Symposium's best party. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. So, Brett, Courtney, give us a little bit of information how you guys got into the whole steampunk stuff.
I got into steampunk on my first visit to Dragon Con down in Atlanta. Back, I want to say it was about 8 years ago. I saw these really cool cats walking around in these amazing outfits talking about it, and I found out it was steampunk. A little bit more research from there, and I found out up in Michigan. Why is Jason pointing? He wants you to put your dick in my mouth, apparently.
I don't know. That's Jason's thing.
Okay, well.
I mean, I'm not going to make sweet love to you with the microphone at this point.
So anyway, I found out that there was a bit of a steampunk community up in the Metro Detroit area. Got acquainted with them, and God, it's been a downward spiral ever since. It really has. Upward, yeah, what's wrong with that? All clad in fun leather bits and sparkly, shiny things.
Yeah. So as I often said, steampunk is what happened when goths discovered the color brown. So apparently Courtney, who has yet to talk, as said, "Fuck me, no." But I still stand by my statement that steampunk is what happened when goths colored brown. Courtney, so what got you into the whole steampunk lifestyle stuff?
I was actually a huge anime fan. I studied Japanese for years, and some of my favorite animes, it turns out, were steampunk themed. I had no idea what the term was. Somebody asked me, what's your favorites? I listed them, and they said, oh, so you like steampunk anime? And I'm like, steampunk? What's steampunk? And then as it happened, several of my roller derby sisters got really into steampunk, and one of them, Emma Peelout, kept saying, come with me to a con, come with me, you'll fucking love it. And, oh, am I allowed to cuss?
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay, good.
It's encouraged.
Okay, good.
No, you're not allowed to cuss.
I have details. But I finally went, and it was amazing, and that was actually the first time I met Brett.
That's awesome. And for those of you playing along at home, Brett and Courtney are, I don't want to say happily married, but yeah, very happily married.
Tickled pink married.
Can we get that one more time for those listening at home?
Tickled pink married.
Except pink is an awful color. It is.
So Courtney, when it comes time for the divorce, you're totally hosed because he's very happy with the marriage, and you're the bad guy in this case. So
no divorce. Ever.
As somebody who loves Steampunk Symposium, but really, 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 really loves the Hall of Debauchery, I know you guys are kind of scaling back a little bit of your vendor operations, but tell us a little about the Airship Iniquitous wall-to-wall party good times that you guys put on every year, at least since I've been at Symposium. How did you guys get started with that?
Well, it started actually back at one of my first conventions that I attended, which was the World Steam Expo up in Detroit. Our group of special little beautiful idiots decided we wanted to host a party. That party was on the top floor in the presidential suite of the hotel, which we had booked ourselves. Our party lasted all of 20 minutes before security came up and shut us down. Nice. This was an invite-only party. So I immediately ran to the chair of the convention and told them that this is not acceptable. We need to host a party. We got too much booze. We can't have it go to waste. They set us up in the pool area, and from there forward, we have been hosting parties at conventions, and it has just turned into a drunken mess. It really has. But from then, a gorgeous mess. It's an amazing mess. But yeah, since then, it's just been a beautiful thing. It really has.
So, Gordon, what's your take on the beautiful mess drunken parties? Please, for everybody listening at home, to verify what I have mentioned in previous episodes, drunken o'clock, or shirtless o'clock, sorry.
Well, we serve very potent drinks, and we allow free admission to everyone over 21. But we do request that you tip to offset our costs. Just a tip. Anyway, we have lovely lines on our tip jar, and one of them is shirtless o'clock. If we reach shirtless o'clock by the amount of tips, then everyone takes off their shirts. Sometimes we have had everyone shirtless o'clock. I'll let all of you imagine what that means. And we recently introduced pantsless o'clock. Bottomless o'clock, which is the introduction of our beautiful sequined booty shorts. Which Brett looks amazing in. Oh my God.
As someone who has partaken of Airship Iniquitous, Corsair Iniquitous, beautiful, amazing, fantastic parties, Brett in sequin shorts, no offense, Courtney, is truly a sight to behold. I mean, it's got, handprints on the ass to beholden, and it's just a great time. So I know you said you started off with hey, this one guy at our con decided they were going to have a party, and we've got way too much booze. But what's really inspired you guys to continue to do the parties? 'Cause, I mean, you guys throw by and far the best parties at Steampunk Symposium. What's inspired you guys to keep on doing that?
Well, first, thank you for the props. It's taken us a while to get things dialed in, but I can honestly say that after 8 years, we have figured out the perfect recipe for throwing the perfect con party. It's a simple group of 3 ingredients: good booze, good music, good people. That's all you need. Anything more, all you're doing is really just complicating the situation. And once you get those 3 things dialed in perfect, you're golden. And it helps that I have some of the best staff at all of my parties. And as far as my bartender goes, bartenders are Mark and Anastasia. Those two have been a mainstay for at least I'd say 3 or 4 years, and I couldn't even imagine trying to host a party without them. And so with that being said, our next party that we're hosting is actually at Motor City SteamCon, which is in July. We are hosting the official Friday night party, and then also in November, is it November? Yes. Yeah, November at TeslaCon, we are hosting the official Saturday night party. And with that being said, we also have all of our staff, our same door people, our same bartenders, everything. We got it dialed in, and we're going to rock it, and we're going to do it proper and show them what a con party is supposed to be like.
Oh, yeah. Courtney, do you have anything to add to that? I mean, that was a beautiful advertisement of the greatest con party that has ever been held in the history of ever.
As far as our motivation, Brett and I absolutely love making people happy. It is so exciting to see everyone having a good time and just knowing that a lot of times we are the reason they come to a con. Plus, there is the side bonus. If we're not working, Brett and I have this odd habit of getting drunk. If we're working a party, that's actually probably the soberest you'll ever see us at a con, because we're determined not to get too stupid drunk that we can't work it. So we'll get nice and tipsy and happy and talk to a lot of people, meet great people who don't remember us the next day, and it's amazing.
Absolutely. Jason, do you have any questions you wish to ask Brett or Courtney?
I have a whole lot of questions, but I don't think I should ask.
I'll say that's for Geeks Boutique After Dark. That is from extra mature audiences only. Brett Courtney, thank you so very much for entertaining us today in our drunken state. And we always enjoy your time, and definitely by and large the best party at any con in the history of ever that was ever held, now or will ever be held.
Damn,
thank you so very much. Yeah, we're setting the bar high.
Okay, for our final interview, we have the man himself, Charles Hinton, also known as King Robert the Bruce, King of the Kentucky Highland Renaissance Festival. The King, he meets everyone at the gate, wanders the festival all day long, presides over the joust, presides, of course, over the King's Feast, and he's always happy to talk with everybody who comes through the gates. He couldn't be a more approachable, kinder person. What do you think, Zach?
I mean, I think we need to elect him as the next president, because if he can be king of the Ren Fair,
yeah.
Look at the current state of affairs, he can run this bitch no problem. Like, I have no doubts about that. No, sitting there talking with him was a great pleasure, and I hope he doesn't mind me kind of revealing this, but he was actually a medical professional as well, so kind of kindred spirits there, and we talked for a bit about that. So it was really neat getting to some of the backstory of the man who is king of the Ren Fair.
Yeah, actually, at the interview, we cut the mic and continued talking to him for another 20, 30 minutes or so. Just a really good fella, a good person to know, and the King, Robert the Bruce himself of the Kentucky Highland Renaissance Fair.
I mean, it speaks volumes of anybody that'll stand there and talk to our drunken asses for a good solid 20 minutes, and he did not seem overly pained to do so.
No, and by that point in the day, we were,
we were swimming in mead.
Thoroughly lubricated.
Be entirely honest here.
Hi, this is Zach with the Geeks Boutique Podcast. We're actually here with the King of the Ren Fair, Robert the Bruce, for a little interview today. Tell us a little bit about your kingship and some of the things you've enjoyed as King of the Ren Fair, and a little bit of your history with the Ren Fair today.
Very well. It's great to be king, especially here at Briarwood in Scotland. I've been here as the king now for 8 years. It's been a grand run. The people that come to our fair are outstanding. We love to see each and every one of them as they come in. The people here is a family, and that's what it makes it so much a pleasure to be here, is the fact that we are a family.
So how did you initially get started as the king?
Do you want the real story, or you want the legend?
I don't know. I think our listeners at home would like to hear both the real story and the legend.
Very well. The real story is I started out here as a vendor. I had written 2 books of poetry and was selling my wares over in the forest. And they would come to me each weekend and ask me to do what we initially called a assassination poem. And I would go at the feast and read my poem to them as far as something as far as with the captain. It was this here, Captain Amos. We did
a great interview with Captain Amos.
We did a poem about him and I staying in the pub all night long, and him being leaving with a fair lass, and from out of the crowd the lass comes up with a wee babe in a sailor's outfit and explains the long night that we had at the pub. And the next year I came out and tried out, and I was able to become the bodyguard for the king. And I was a bodyguard for the king, and now I've been been the king here now for 7 years.
So did you kill the king to become bodyguard of the king?
The legend of it has it he had his inauguration, and was everyone came up and kissed the ring and swore their allegiance to him. I, being his bodyguard, stood behind him. And after it was over with, everyone went along their way. The next weekend we had Bonnie Prince Charlie here. We went ahead 200 years. And the king at the time was standing behind Bonnie Prince Charlie, giving him a hard time as the ghost of King Robert the Bruce. I eased up behind him, pulled out my dagger, reached around his throat and said, "I never swore allegiance to you," and slit his throat. Become king next year. That's the legend.
So, if that's the legend, then do tell. What's the real story?
Well, I gave it to you about how I become after being one of the vendors here. Actually trying out. Which we do have tryouts here every year in March. So anyone that would like to join this family, all they have to do is come and try out.
So if anyone would like to best the king, they would have to be the best king of the land, yeah?
Aye, they would.
And I don't think there's any better king than Robert the Bruce. Is that correct?
Aye, as far as I think and what everyone here in Briarwood thinks, I believe you'd be correct.
Absolutely. After I've come in here many, many years, it seems great. Jason, do you have any questions?
Yeah, I want to know what the official duties are as king of the Renaissance Fair.
Aye, my official duties is presiding over the different actions here at the fair, starting out with opening the gates every morning and letting people into this fine village. After that, we have the joust, and after the joust, we have our rat pucking contest. After rat pucking, we have the King's Feast and another joust, and just basically walking through the village and making everyone feel welcome.
So enlighten me. I'm not entirely familiar with what the rat packing contest is.
Rat pucking?
I don't know rat pucking. For those playing along at home, care to tell us a little bit about rat pucking?
I'd be glad to. Rat pucking started out in the, as we are in 1320 Scotland, when there was actually the plague. And people found out that the rats caused the plague, so they would kill them with long sticks because no one wanted to touch a rat. And they would pick up the rat with their stick and drop it in a bucket to be disposed of. Well, we have, because of a grand man named John Green, have started a rat pucking where you take your stick, pick up your dead rat, and you fling it as in golf. And each time you do it, you instead of hollering 4, you holler cheese. And the idea is to get your rat into the bucket without the least number of strokes. Hence rat pucking.
Wonderful. So I have to ask Robert the Bruce, what is your favorite day here at Renton Fair?
My favorite day would have to be every day.
Oh, that's a wonderful day. If you care to come out to Kentucky Highlands Renaissance Fair, you might actually get an opportunity to see Zack the Destroyer compete in the Highland Renaissance Fair games. Will you be judging the Ren Fair games?
I'm not actually a judge because, of course, I have so many duties and everything, but we have people that would be judging things for us. But something that might be something that you'd be interested in, as today with our Steampunk Weekend. It's very interesting because we have things as far as Doctor Who's, we have pirates, we have stormtroopers, we have had Klingons, we've had Starship Enterprise members all coming back through our portal, through our Time Wizard that we have that live here at Briarwood.
Wonderful. Jason,
Zack the Destroyer already came in number 2 to a dog. So that ship has sailed.
The dogs are hard to beat.
Yeah.
I did, in fact, I didn't lose. I merely came in second place, which second place is the first loser. So we asked, we ran into Ed and interviewed him. What would be the future?
Alternate winner.
Alternate winner, also first loser. So what's the future hold for Robert the Bruce and the Kentucky Highland Renaissance Fair? Anything that they can only hear first at Geeks Boutique Podcast?
Oh, there's lots of things we hope to add. We have coming up in a year's future of a lot more different acts that will be here. We hope to have many of the, as today, the people with the steampunk community and those who are in Geekville to come and visit with us. What else can you expect when we have people like Gandalf here?
I was like, Gandalf has been a recurring theme, correct?
He has. This will be his second year being here.
I was like, Gandalf is a timeless creature. Jason, do you have anything to add to that?
Oh, I had a picture taken with him last week. I got him actually in between, like shifting from Gandalf the Grey to Gandalf the White. I got the white version, so that was good for me.
And we also had Dumbledore appear today, too.
Yeah.
We have. I actually competed directly against Dumbledore in the steampunk cosplay competition. And for those Harry Potter fans at home, I totally crushed Dumbledore at the steampunk symposium. But that being said, he's not very much a steampunk character. He's definitely, the guy doing it had a beautiful cosplay of Dumbledore, like looking at him directly. Absolutely, it was definitively Dumbledore. As far as closing remarks, anything that you want to say to get people out here to the Steampunk Weekend or the Highlands Renaissance Fair? I mean, definitely the best Ren Fair that Kentucky has to offer.
We hope they show up and be with us here at the Ren Fair. You have to look at it as if your day-to-day mundane positions and jobs in life is something that's getting you down and something that you're unhappy with. Come to the Ren Fair and experience something that's different and something a part of fantasy.
Well, you've heard it directly, people. Direct from the king of the Ren Fair that you need to come out and check out the Highlands Ren Fair. As said by Zack the Destroyer, as said by Drunk and Sailor. If you're not out here at Highlands Kentucky Ren Fair, what exactly are you doing with your life? You're sitting on your ass not doing anything. Jason, any closing remarks?
I have no closing remarks. Thank you very much.
As Zach the Destroyer says, if you're not out here, you're fucking up. This is closing remarks with Zach the Destroyer.
Okay, so there you have it. There's our full report from Steampunk Day at the Kentucky Highland Renaissance Fair in Eminence, Kentucky. If you've never been, then please make plans to attend in the future. It's a great, albeit small fair, but it packs a lot of punch. As Ed said in his interview, it's big enough, but it's small enough. There's plenty for you to do, kids included, but it's small enough to where you get a lot of personal interaction with the cast and crew. They wander the village the whole time. You almost can't help but interact with a lot of them, and you really get your money's worth. If you can't make it to the Renaissance Fair, then check out their other events. Look forward to September of this year for the Celtic Music Festival and Highland Games, another favorite. They bring in various Celtic music acts that play throughout the day. Sometimes they have a bagpiping competition, and then you can watch people throw giant tree logs around, if that's what giant men in kilts throwing the caber around. It's the best form of entertainment I can think of.
Ladies.
Yeah. In December this year, look for the Dickens Festival.
He said Dickens.
I certainly did. It's my favorite event. It never fails to get us in the Christmas spirit. And if you have kids, you definitely need to go, or you pretty much utterly fail as a parent. It's the most kid-friendly, dirt cheap, amusing. It's just charming. Just beginning to end, it's the most charming event you could ever go to. So that's all for this bonus episode of the Geeks Boutique podcast. Thank you all for listening and for your continued support. Please head over to our Facebook page, and you'll be able to follow all of our shenanigans. You can also get with us on Twitter at GeeksBoutique1, Instagram at Geeks_Boutique_Lex, and send us an email at geeksboutiquelex@gmail.com. All one word, geeksboutiquelex@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
All music for the Geeks Boutique podcast is performed, recorded, and owned by Kung Fu Lips and the Critical Hits. For booking information, please message us on our Facebook page at Geeks Boutique Lex.